Welcome everyone to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, hardware releases, websites by plebes or plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe. We're going to the numbers. Let's do it.
Number top!
At the time of this recording, the block height is 693,290. The Bitcoin price, 39,720. Total public Lightning capacity, 2,048.98. Bitcoin versus gold market cap. We were higher yesterday, I think. Bitcoin versus... No, we weren't. That was
We're at 2033.
Were we? Mm-hmm. So it's another all-time high on that. All right, well, we're getting there. We got to get to 2,500, though. These are rookie numbers. Okay, anyways. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 6.24%. Sats per dollar, 2,518.
Man, numbers are looking phenomenal, dude. The Lightning Network, it's literally gone parabolic. Literally, dude.
You know what? Yesterday in Bitcoin Kindergarten, I believe it was Justifer that was talking about PlebNet, right? And like how all these, like Bitcoiners are just going over there and experimenting with Lightning, and maybe they're contributing to the big jump in Lightning capacity. So, shout out to the PlebNet guys on Telegram.
Hell yeah, dude. I would not be surprised, dude. But, man, in a world full of darkness, dude, Bitcoin is the shining light, bro. And it just, It makes you hopeful about the future again, dude. With all these dark times, dude, like, I'm just looking at Bitcoin like this beacon of hope, dude. It's wild. It's wild. Yep. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right. So this is an interesting fail because it kind of takes place, right, in different times. So Rory, right, fellow Bitcoiner, tweeted this out today. Damn, who we dumping on? Sassel OX. And that's, some ETH shitcoiner that, preaches about ETH. There you go. Founder of the Daily GUI. I guess that's gas, right? And yeah, you could see that all kinds of shitcoining anyways, whatever. So what's he talking about, right? Who we dumping on? So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the tweets, and we can see exactly what he outlined. So this is like I guess a few chat, which is some shitcoin. And here we go. Okay, so Kirby's going to be mad because he wasn't included. Yeah, well, few. We actually should make it a point to not invite some people. If Kirby gets mad enough, he might turn pink. Yeah, we need people to dump on. Okay, and this is from Anthony, right? And we're talking about few. Now, I don't know much about this. Some shitcoin, whatever. But related to this is this Cointelegraph article. And this is from September 2020. Few DeFi influencers understood what a bad idea few meme token was. Let's take a look at this crap. Here we go. Notable figures in the decentralized finance community found themselves in hot water after joining a group to cook up a meme-inspired token with the apparent intention of dumping on unsuspecting investors. Like that isn't happening every frickin' day. Group members claim the whole thing was just a joke that was taken the wrong way. Yeah, of course. Once you're busted, it's a joke. But if you weren't busted, you're thinking that you're super smart dumping on bag holders, though. So this is kind of the funny part. I'm not even going to read this stuff, but this is gold. This is why I picked this. Okay, so Alex Saunders, who we reported on, right? He does the Nuggets news, the shitcoining, right? Told all kinds of people to buy shitcoins and crappy projects. Okay, we went over that, and we also covered that he was begging Richard Hart, for money. Okay, and this is funny because this is last year, and here we go. This is disappointing to see from people I know and trust. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but while some would have been doing it as a laugh, others were malicious and looking to profit, whether they'll admit it or not. Actions of the few can have repercussions of the many. You should take your own advice, man. That's right. Totally weak, right? It's so easy. You dump on these people and then you're the one going out and shilling. Like, it's so hypocritical. How do you even do that? Like, you're shilling absolute garbage. Anyways, so this is where we ended off. Few token failed to replicate meme success, some other shitcoin, with hundreds of hopeful investors crashing in the Telegram group and an imposter token being launched on Uniswap within hours of the announcement. Guys, We're not doing it for, it is fun for us at this point because we were those bag holders once upon a time and we realize how stupid it is. And that's why we try to bring these to you, right? We try to put them together so that you could see how ridiculous and insane this is. These people are all just salesmen. That's all it is. They're just trying to sell you that. They're just trying to sell you some stupid project that's never going to be money. And this was just another hilarious fail. Nico, what'd you think, man?
I'm concerned, and the reason I'm concerned is because
Concernicus.
These
sorry
these DeFi projects, they're going to run out of names. Like they already
what are you talking about?
They already got all the fruits.
They got the fruits. They got the vegetables.
They got meme. They got a few. Oh, by the way, shout out to Twitter. Thanks for putting a blue check mark next to what's his name, Alex. What's his
Anthony?
Anthony. Thank you, Twitter. Shout out, Jack. Appreciate the little sign for misinformation. Really appreciate that, like always. But yeah.
You know what? There's actually there's kind of another piece to this. I'm not really 100% sure how legit this is, but I did find it funny, and I know that she's a shitcoiner. So, but this was kind of the tweet that started it all off from Rory. Okay. Now, I personally I don't really know exactly how this all relates, so I'll try to figure it out. Okay, but doing a cool experiment with some people, getting 50 smart people in a Telegram together, launching a token. 2% to each member, maybe vested over 1 year. We'll see what happens. Want to join? That sounds pretty degenerate. I'm into it.
I would just like to point out she has a blue check mark as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. I just...
No, I mean, please.
It's like... And I just want to point out, okay? The first time I ever heard Meltem, she was explaining this thing called the shitcoin waterfall. Okay? She explained it very well. And for me, I was like, wow. I'm like... That's exactly what it is. It's a total scam. And this was like over 3 years ago. And here is this person today shilling yet more garbage. Now, she was also involved, I think, in, was it INX token? I know that there was a bunch of different shitcoining platforms recently. I know I've seen her shill Twitch. So it's just, I mean, look, all these people, they love Bitcoin, buy their shitcoins. This is their whole deal.
Absolutely, dude. You said you read it there, right? Where this influencer said we need people to dump on, right? Literally caught red-handed. Vitalik said the same thing. Says we need to stop people from trading in the same type of group. Like these shitcoiners, they pose off like we have this token that does these things, but at the end of the day, man, like they just want it's like some crazy totalitarians, man. They have this control over this. And man, they use their influence to just dump on fucking, poor noobs, right? Like that's what it is, man. But it's good, we called them out. That was an amazing journey you took me on, Phil. And yeah, man, listen, it doesn't surprise me though, and I really was serious when I said I'm really concerned because they're gonna run out of names eventually, and all the catchy names are already taken. So are they just gonna say like sushi 2? Are they gonna start putting digits after their names? I don't know. Maybe
they just become emojis.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the future of shitcoining, just emojis.
The future of shitcoining. Emojis.
Imagine emojis with emojis with words and numbers.
Genius.
Right? Alphanumeric emojis.
Genius. I think that's
a
good idea.
You're welcome.
Bro, you deserve a blue check mark for that.
That was free. Okay? That's right. I just gave that away for free. Airdrop to everyone.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, yeah, guys, just buy Bitcoin. Save yourself from all the fruits and vegetables and emojis. Yeah, man, it's just man, it's crazy. It doesn't surprise me, but it is very entertaining, and it does give us a lot of source material. But anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The Daily Meme Review.
All right, everybody, the meme for today is brought to us by Lena Seish. Anyways, She's back. Choose your fighter, the shadowy supercoder. Shout out Elizabeth Warren. Likes privacy, contributes to an open source network, wants you to be financially sovereign, superpower, has integrity, provides an alternative to the fiat system, skilled coder, often works without a guaranteed salary. Shady central banker, salty boomer, that's the best one. Paid to show fiat money, wants to trap you in the fiat system. Superpower hyperinflation, this is really good. Wants absolute control over your money, makes monetary policy decisions behind. This is all true. Doesn't like privacy. Man, excellent meme, dude. Excellent meme. It's all true. Usually that's why memes are funny, because they are true. Phil, do you want to go first?
you're not going to be able to top me anyways.
I won't.
Okay, so I mean, look, that was an amazing meme, and I didn't think I'd be giving this score for a while, but I mean, she just totally brings the fire. That was great. Like that is such a story well told, and for that, I am going with, and it's still in the box, the Bitcoin roller coaster, and it's still sealed. That's right. It's still mint.
I've been trying to convince Phil to open his because I opened mine. But yeah, okay, that did top my score. God damn it, Phil. Okay,
Still
well,
mint.
I got a back stretcher. You sit on this, and it stretches your back.
Those are awesome. I had one. That's great.
They're painful.
For your lower back, man, you could pop. Oh, it's so good. You get those good pops at the bottom. It's like,
It's great, but it's painful. You lay down, you're like, ugh.
Shouldn't be painful, man. You got to stretch more often.
It's not pain. It's like a good painful.
Good
you know, it's not like a bad pain, but it's like, whoa, you know, your eyes pop out. Yeah. But
So-
damn. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did we want to take a look at the comments in that meme just to see what people even said?
Yeah, let's check it out.
I just want to see.
Let's check them out.
Let's give it a shot. Let's take a look.
Okay, extra points if you find the typo. Oh, we didn't find the typo.
Wait a second, there was a typo.
I know, right? There's so much
So
though.
now, of course, okay. So, but obviously we can't look through it right now, but we should and see if we could find the typo.
Let us know down in the comments if you find the typo. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because then we'll tell Lena.
The memes are winning. This is true.
The memes are
The
winning.
first creates privacy systems out in the open, while the second actively fights privacy systems from behind closed doors. Very true. This is why memes are important, man. And why would anyone trust nerd money versus central bank money? Nerds brought you the internet. Banks brought you the Great Depression. This is really
Wow.
okay.
Okay.
Another awesome, dope design. These are awesome. These are,
Yeah.
I choose. What the fuck is wrong with you, Queen Huddler? Sounds like
is
you're.
it?
Sounds like you're broke.
There's always a shitcoiner, right? There's always a shitcoiner that pops in and then tries to show you their garbage. I hate it. You'll have this like great thread, and then all of a sudden some person pops in and is like, "Oh, this person taught me so much about trading. I've made so many gains. Click link." Really?
Goddamn shitcoiners. Whatever. Jack should just do us a favor. Put a blue check mark to all.
They all should have blue check marks. You guys are all wonderful and special, and everyone should know.
Oh my god, it's true. But anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
Inflation has increased notably and will likely remain elevated in coming months before moderating.
The concept of transitory is really this. It is that the increases will happen. We're not saying they will reverse. That's not what transitory means. It means that the increases in prices will happen. So there will be inflation, but that the process of inflation will stop. So that there won't be further. When we think of inflation, we really think of inflation going up year upon year upon year upon year. That's inflation. When you have inflation for 12 months or whatever it may be, I'm just taking an example and not making an estimate, then you have a price increase, but you don't have an inflation process. And so part of that just is that if it doesn't affect longer-term inflation expectations, then it's very likely not to affect the process of inflation going forward. So what I mean by transitory is just something that doesn't leave a permanent mark on the inflation process.
Guys, this is end stage. This is end stage, and it's not only happening in the United States. This is happening to all central banks around the world. They are in complete panic. Don't overact to temporary inflation, Bank of Canada. And I'm going to pull up the M1 money supply chart that I always do just to hammer it in your heads what's going on here. These people have absolutely lost their minds as the chart goes back to all the way to 1959. As we see last year, there was a giant blue dildo of money printing, and they just absolutely lost control. They can't keep this up. Okay, this is late stage fiat, and this kind of explains all the chaos that's going around, right? All the fiat money printing has created this huge, enormous governments, right? And man, they're no longer serving their people. They're serving special interest groups. The Cantillon effect has just run away, man. And it's creating this chaos, man. But Phil, I don't think this is going to last that much longer. It can't, man. And their only tool, as you saw in Powell's face, he didn't know how to answer that question. He had a short circuit, right? And if you look at Occam's razor, right, just explain it. He just doesn't have any answers because there's no way out. They can't stop printing at the rate they're printing without the whole economy collapsing on itself. Look at the stock market. It's going up week after week. Why is that? Because they're printing money like crazy, dude. This is insane. And the only way to protect yourself is Bitcoin, man. This is dark stuff, Phil. I'm not going to lie.
They have to hide it, right? Like they have to hide the money printing. And I want to go back to what he said, right? He said that it's not inflation if it's temporary. How did they even come up with that shit? Like, it's like, really? So hold on a second. So wait. So does that mean it's not money printing because you only temporarily print the money? You're not printing it all the time? So because you turn the money printer off every once in a while, it's not money printing. So we're not really paying more. So the fact that the chocolate bars are getting smaller, right, and we're paying more for less, that's actually not happening.
That's exactly what he said.
And I mean, I'm giving the simplest example just to show, right? So it's like, it's the easiest example. Like, you're getting less and you're paying more, and you're having to work. We are having to work more for it. It's like, no, they've got nothing left. And it's scary as hell. And they are literally throwing whatever they can at the wall to see what sticks. Yep. But the reality is, the only tool that they have, which is exactly what you said, is the money printing. And they have nowhere to hide it. So where does it go? The real estate prices, eventually you won't be able to live in one room. That's not going to work. You know, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to inflate the price of everything. That's why they'll have no choice. So eventually, yes, we will have $30,000 pens out there, you know? And they're not going to be fancy. They're going to be Bic pens. You're going to be buying a Bic pen for $30,000, you know?
It's
actually
crazy.
Well, nobody writes anymore, so you don't need a pen. So you won't be buying a pen for $30,000, but maybe you'll be buying a chocolate bar for $15,000. Okay, maybe that'll be happening.
No, but it's true, dude. But it's crazy to see, because that's the guy in charge of the money. Essentially, that's the guy ahead of the U.S. central bank, the Fed, right? And you literally could see that he doesn't know how to answer that question. He's having trouble explaining that because he can't, right? Remember, these people are full-on believers in modern monetary theory, meaning
this is all they know.
They could just print forever and it's okay, right? They can't compute, right, that their system is collapsing on its own weight, and that's exactly what's going on, man. And you know what? I'm calling it right now. Unlike the 1930s, where FDR kind of, released this executive order banning, U.S. citizens from owning gold because he wanted to shut off that escape valve, the Bitcoin escape valve is very difficult to shut off. In fact, you can't shut it off, right? So what happens then? Just a thought. Anyways, I could kind of show you a look into the future of what happens then. White House says Bitcoin and shitcoin tax enforcement will help pay for bipartisan infrastructure.
Yes. Yes, of course.
A months in the making infrastructure bill in the U.S. Senate will partially paid for by tax enforcement of Bitcoin and shitcoins. Now, I don't think they've realized this yet is that people that usually buy Bitcoin, they just hold on to it. They're not selling it.
Good luck.
So this only works if you're actively trading, right? That's the issue, right? Okay, anyways. The bill would raise some $28 billion from hidden reporting requirements for exchange and brokerages. But as Nick Carter pointed out, right, it's a myth that taxes pay for government spending. Taxes are used, you said this the other day, by the way, Phil. Mm-hmm. Taxes are used to destroy money, curb inflation, and reorient society in ways policymakers deem appropriate, right? Migrating inequality or de-emphasizing sinful behavior. And yet we're accepting this treatment. And he's absolutely right. Listen, the U.S. spends 3 times more money than it collects in taxes. And that number goes higher every year, meaning we keep spending, or the United States keeps spending more and more money that it's collecting in tax revenue. And since 2009, the United States has been collecting more tax revenue year after year, right? So again, we don't have a spending problem, or the United States doesn't have a spending problem. I mean, sorry, doesn't have a tax collecting problem like they would like to point out, in that they just sneakily try to put it in, just jam it right through, right? In this infrastructure, apparently, collecting Bitcoin and shitcoin taxes is an infrastructure. So listen, I suspect that, when their whole Fugazi, their game is up, which again, there's no way to tell the future, but looks like, based on how Powell responded to that simple question, what's the deal with inflation? He literally could not answer the question. Okay, Powell's a very well-educated guy, right? He's the head of Federal Reserve, so you can't say the guy's stupid. The guy's not stupid. He just has terrible ideas about monetary policy. So yeah, Phil, I mean, listen, I suspect this to get worse, man, because the only way, and you said this before we started recording, the only way they keep their game running is if they do a full bait and switch to central bank digital currencies. Mm-hmm. But central bank digital currencies would only work if there was no escape valve. If there's an escape valve, then there's no incentive for people to keep those, because remember, the central bank digital currencies is going to allow central banks to have complete and total control, meaning you're going to have an expiration. It's going to be worse than inflation. You're going to have an expiration date to spend your money. That's a banker's wet dream. And like we've covered so many times on the show, they're copying the China model, right? This is already tried and tested in China, and they're exporting that model into the US, or importing that model into the US and Europe as well, right? So look, very scary stuff. But again, open systems always beat closed systems, right? So my money's on Bitcoin, obviously. And look, the internet is undefeated, right? Any technology, any company, any government that has tried to essentially stop the innovation of the internet has failed miserably, right? Unless you're North Korea, but you could make the argument that country isn't necessarily the most successful of countries, right? They just literally stopped the internet as a whole. They just, no internet here, right? So, I mean, look, like, as long as, the internet's about, there's always going to be, ways to send Bitcoin and receive Bitcoin. And, what are they going to do? Make downloading Bitcoin wallets illegal? Like, it's just so absurd. The amount of stuff that they would need to try to pull off to keep their game, man, it's just, look, Phil, we're heading into some dark times, man. We're entering the then they fight you stage, okay? We're entering that, man. And again, they're going to try to blame Bitcoin for their failures, okay? They're not going to take responsibility for this. It's going to be someone else's fault. It's never going to be about the amount of money they're printing, and the amount of money they're printing is essentially theft from their citizens to pay for their failed government policies. Okay, this is big government and fiat. Just run away, dude. We're entering loony world right now, bro. Phil,
think about the absolute clown that you have to be to go and try to pass bills like this knowingly, right? Knowing full well that adding more taxes does not fix anything. It doesn't fix anything at all. It's literally like you showed in Nick's tweet. And like I've said in the past, they set that money on fire. All right. Like, I know the actual company that does it, and they literally set pallets of money on fire. Okay. So this is all just hocus pocus. Okay. These are monetary tricks. They're just having fun. Okay. And it's at our expense. Okay, like it's sickening. I mean, imagine that you're a person in this position. Why would you opt to pass a bill like this, right? And it's not just this bill. It's so many, I don't even know how many taxes we pay anymore, okay? And none of it has anything to do with making anything better, okay? They're able to print all of the money that they need. They've been able to print all of the money that they need. This should scare everybody. I mean, to me, this was one of the most disappointing things I ever learned. I actually believed that the taxes that we pay, were going to help something, and they really don't.
They really don't, dude.
They really don't. It's awful. Okay. All it is about playing tricks with the money, with the money supply, so that these people can continue to increase their control and their wealth.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Phil. And look, man, and I think I've told you this off camera too. we're heading into some dark times, guys. Like, it's just the writing's on the wall. And, you know, the best thing that you could do is just take self-custody, withdraw your Bitcoin off exchanges if you have it on there, right? Put your stuff on a hardware wallet, preferably on a cold card or Trezor, right? You know, spin up your own node, right? You know, be as sovereign as you can, because these people, you know, they're going to be pressed into a corner and they're going to try everything in their power to try to keep that grasp on. You heard Elizabeth Warren, right, the other day, right? You heard it. It came out of her mouth. She had a Freudian slip. She said the power is going to go to shadowy supercoders. She said the power is going to go. She said it right then and there, right? The power, right? Meaning that that the politicians are the ones in power right now. Why? Because they control the creation of money, right? They have a total monopoly on the creation of money. Bitcoin changed that. Bitcoin democratized the creation of money, meaning anyone who has electricity, anyone who has the energy could mine Bitcoin, and you know, it's nice. Everyone's equal, right? Why should the government have total control on who creates the money? It's bullshit. It's literally the cause of all this insanity, man. And yeah, man, whatever. Anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, everyone, we've got Sphinx Relay version 2.2.0 that was released. And that is that's like a chat and texting service that's encrypted and private, and a lot of people seem to like it. Anyways, that is down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash the like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fiat, there's so many now, catastrophic fiat and shitcoin fails. I just laugh because there's so many. Definitely, no. Yeah, and if you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective, definitely consider subscribing, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
No more clown world.